Good morning, Robin. How are you? Good to see you. You go ahead. I think you're the first one here, so we'll go ahead, give it a minute, and wait for the rest of them. Good morning, Judy. Good to see you. Glad that you are here. Good morning, Wanda. Nice haircut. Your hair grows so fast. I know it does. Wanda, the hairstylist was like, I wish my hair would grow like that. She had long hair, and mine is it was since February and that I had my hair cut, and it was down to here. I mean, it was ridiculous. Totally ridiculous. Okay, I'm going to read a little bit from Psalm 140, and then we'll get started. Deliver me, O Lord, from the evil man. Preserve me from the violent man, which image mischiefs in their heart, or which imagine mischiefs in their heart. Continually are they gathered together for war. They have sharpened their tongues like a serpent. Adder's poison is under their lips. Selah. Keep me, O Lord, from the hands of the wicked. Preserve me from the violent men who have purpose to overthrow my goings. The proud have hid a snare for me. They have spread a net by the wayside. They have set gins for me. Selah. I said unto the Lord, Thou art my God. Hear the voice of my supplications, O Lord. O God, the Lord, the strength of my salvation. Thou hast covered my head in the day of battle. Seems like we might be there. Hey, Clara. Woohoo, made it. Glad that you made it. It's good to see you. I'm not sure how much Facebook is up because I'm not seeing my Facebook people. So who knows? Hey, Bonnie, good to see you. So maybe Facebook is taking a holiday. There was something going on at Facebook this morning for those of you who had Facebook. I noticed that at least on my hey, there he is. Hey, Tim, good morning. On my Facebook page, practically all of the profile pictures were missing. On every page that I would go to, at the top where they have the profile page, it was all missing. So it was very strange. Good morning, Bruce. Good to see you as well. All right, let's get started. So the other day, good morning, Paula. Good to see you. Wayne's here. Wayne's here. Good morning. Facebook works. Well, for today, I guess. We'll see. All right. So we had a ruling the other day. It sounded really good. The federal appeals court now has blocked the judge's overturn of the assault weapons ban in California. So the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals picked that up and said, we're going to issue a stay on that. So it followed appeals from state officials on the decision saying that the law is needed to prevent gun deaths. So in other words, the court made a decision and these state officials disagreed with it. And so now the court is listening to state officials rather than to the Constitution of the United States. I mean, that's basically what we're seeing here. So they were saying that interfered with the Second Amendment rights. That was in the district court level. And now the appeals court, after having listened to the state officials, is saying, well, we really don't care about the Constitution. We're going to go ahead and do it anyway. So the state government, through the law, bans an entire class of very popular hardware, firearms that are lawful under federal law and under the laws of most states, and that are commonly held by law-abiding citizens for lawful purposes. Under no level of heightened scrutiny can the law survive. California law prohibits the manufacture, use, or sale of an assault weapon defined as a semi-automatic rifle with certain characteristics such as fixed magazine that has a capacity to hold more than 10 rounds. So the California Attorney General Rob Bonta, who appealed the district court's decision, said on Twitter that California's laws on assault weapons would remain in effect while the appellate proceedings continue. We won't stop defending these life-saving laws. So in other words, what he's saying is, translation, we're going to continue to violate your Second Amendment rights in California, and we're going to hope that the court, that the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals will go along with it, and we'll decide that what we did, Bonta, or whatever his name is, that he was correct and the court was wrong. Diane said, all lies, they just want to disarm. Exactly, Diane. And you think about it, Susan uses proper gun language. There you go, James. Won't save one life. Yeah, basically, if you have a gun that fires one bullet at a time, let's say, that's not as powerful as something else that is sort of a semi-automatic. So why would they want to take that away from you? Well, that's right, because they think the only thing that you can legally do with your Second Amendment right is go hunting. So why would you need a gun like that for hunting? Good morning, everyone. Hey, Ken, that's a very broad definition of a firearm. Yeah. Well, Judy, Feinstein wanted to ban everything, and it looks like this is coming back around. She's the one that got that ban in place in the first place. So now we have, California continues to fight on to try to prevent you from enjoying your Second Amendment right till its fullest. Good morning, Susan. I'm walking you in my pocket. Good, Chezzy. Good morning. Keep the faith, Pastor Leo. Amen. Amen. So we'll see what happens. It's probably going to have to go to the Supreme Court. And who knows what they'll do with it. After all, it's not Obamacare. So if it's not Obamacare, it really doesn't matter, right? All right. So they don't even know about guns. That they don't, not at all. Hey, Debbie Treadway. Good morning. Good to see you. Yeah, they don't know anything about guns. They think you should keep your guns at the gun club and call police and wait 15 minutes, even though it's over in 3 minutes or less, James, right? You never know what the deer are carrying. That's true, Wayne. And the deer might not be so sweet. There are people who dress up like deer, right? Because those are the hunters that get shot every year because people think that they're deer. Just kidding. There's a Glock 9mm that has a 30-round magazine. Wow. Yeah, we're in California. We're not allowed to have more than 10, I believe it is. So, okay. So let me go on to the next one before I get too disgusted with talking about the lack of Second Amendment in California. Okay. Now, this is from the World Health Organization. And let me just kind of scroll down. They've had a revision, which you probably are aware of. It says that the virus badges are safe for most people 18 years and older, including those with pre-existing conditions, now they're saying that if supplies are limited, discuss your situation with your care provider if you have a compromised immune system. Now, if you're pregnant, they want you to go ahead, and if you're already breastfeeding, just continue on. Not that babies would die from anything, that was in your breast milk that maybe shouldn't be. So just go ahead. It's okay. Now, they're saying children should not be badged for the moment. There's not yet enough evidence on the use of the badge against the virus in children. Okay, so how many times have we been told over and over and over by Dr. Fo Cha-Ching that children should be vaccinated? Hey, sissy, that children should receive the badge. How many times? And now the WHO is saying, no, don't do that. Wow, I wonder if that has anything to do with the heart inflammation. Oh, of course not, because that's not really happening, right? I don't know if any of you saw, and I'm going to not say some names here, so hopefully that you will understand what I'm saying. My Pillow, Mike. I hope you saw last night's show. I don't know if they have that recorded anywhere. I guess you can go back and watch the old shows. They had Dr. Tenpenny on there and Dr. Zelenko, I think it was his name. trying to think of his first name, but it was Zelenko. Anyway, you should go and watch that from last night. It gives you a lot of information about what is happening, what is coming, if there's anything that you can do about it. Robin said a 13-year-old died after the second badge this month. His aunt shared it. And I'm sure they didn't tell her, meaning the doctors, what he in fact died of. So yeah, more and more kids are passing away, and nobody seems to know why. Now, this is from Emerald Robinson. Let me put this up for you. And it'll go quietly, like that nobody will ever take notice of what the WHO said. Clara said, of all the deaths from the badge, I find it odd that no politicians have gotten sick or died. Well, you know, we weren't there, Clara. We don't know what went into their badge. Good morning, Brian C. Good to see you. Robin said the coroner said his heart was inflamed and surrounded with fluid. Kind of the same thing that Dr. Tenpenny has been talking about. And another reason to go there and look at that video. Okay, this is from Emerald Robinson, who said, last month, everyone must get the new badge, even children. Today, no one under the age of 18 should get the new badge. Next month, no one should get the new badge. Well, we'll probably never hear that, but it is food for thought for those of you who are still thinking, right? And for some that they don't want us to think. Okay. Now, a lot of things have happened. You know, people are talking about the effects that this is, the virus has had on children. History won't be kind to the way we treated young people during this virus crisis. They should be living totally normal lives, schools, sports, play, and no mitigation protocols for a disease that's less dangerous to them than the seasonal flu. So now we're talking here about eating disorders have surged among adolescents in the, you know what. Doctors report steep increases in both hospitalization and outpatient visits, with children coming in sicker than ever. And one of the things that Dr. Tenpenny talked about is when these kids are given badges to wear, let's say, who's going to go in and find out if, for example, young girls are starting their periods or having periods at all, whether these young girls later in life, when they become childbearing age, if they will be able to bear children. Will anybody be looking at the young boys to find out what's happening to them? The answer is probably no, because it'll just go away. We won't talk about it. And then years later, it'll be, wow, I wonder what's happening to children. And they're giving that badge to kids 12 and over. And remember, Judy, also, for those of you who watch jdforraw.org, they were talking about in Hawaii, they set up little, hey, Sally, good to see you. They set up little, mobile units for you to come and get a badge. And if you were a child in Hawaii, they weren't requiring you to have your parents' permission to come and get it. So what's going to happen to those people that lured children in without parental consent to get the badge? Answer is nothing. Not a darn thing. That's what's going to happen. Okay. Now, other information. This will shock you. It must be incorrect. I mean, obviously this can't possibly happen. But the title nonetheless says nearly 4,000 fully badged people in Massachusetts test positive for the virus. What? You're kidding. So according to the Department of Public Health, as of June 12th, there were 3,791 people who tested positive for the virus among the 3.7 million fully badged people in the state, accounting for roughly 1 in 1,000 vaccinated individuals. So don't worry. Be happy. It's a small number. You'll be fine. It said we're learning that many of the breakthrough infections are asymptomatic, or they're very mild and brief in duration. You know, kind of like when they had all of those cases for the virus, and we kept saying, but cases don't matter. It's only the really the positive actual infections, and we were laughed at. And they're saying, you know, it's asymptomatic. Oh, really? Back then, you're saying that asymptomatic was, oh, be careful, you're going to get the virus and you should be veiling up. So again, the rules have changed. I'm sick of the lies. This is not a badge, Robin said. It is ridiculous, and every day they think that we get more and more stupid, I guess, because they continue with the lies. They change the lies to fit the agenda, and it's crazy. It's absolute craziness. Good morning, Diana. How are you? My brother found out decades later the swine flu shot more than likely gave him the Guillain-Barré after watching the Judy Roberts story. Yeah, Clara. That's because any minuscule trace of the vaccine shows up on the fake test. Yep. And again, we're supposed to sit back and go, oh my gosh, thank you for helping me and telling me the truth about things so that I can make an informed decision. Not. Okay, so let's talk about Canada. What's Canada doing? So Canada, Victoria, to lead the clinical trials of Australia's first locally made M rhymes with DNA badge. So they're going to be developing that, and will begin phase 1 trials within months. They announced on Sunday that the state government would invest $5 million into a particular company, it's MIPS, to manufacture doses of the M rhymes with DNA badge candidates. You might remember yesterday when we were listening to the guy that had invented the M rhymes with DNA, and he said, let's not use that anymore. We don't know all of the ramifications, but I would not do it. And here we go. Now we have other countries going, hey, I can do it. Rue said that Canada and Australia are out of control. We're right there with them, practically. They still can't tell anyone if the tests detect all strains of the virus or only the 19 strain. Judy said, a distant member of my family, liberal, got the virus after the badge, and she said it was because she wasn't being cautious. Yeah, I'm sure that's it. Even though, Robin, if she wore her badge, there was no way, right, that she could even get the virus. Now, let me just say that they have told us from the very beginning that this won't prevent you. Your badge will not prevent you from getting the virus. It will only lessen your or reduce your symptoms. They won't be as severe. That I've never seen them make the claim. Now, somebody may disagree with me, and maybe you have evidence of it. I've never seen them make the claim that means that you won't get it. That this, as a typical badge that you get for everything else, it prevents you from getting it. This is just like, no, it will just lessen the severity of it. Diana said, pray for my 2 boys that they were in a car accident this morning, but they are okay, just scratches and bruises. Goodness, Diana, I'm glad that they're okay. Wow. Hopefully everybody else was okay in the other car or whatever happened. Pray for them as well. A lot of people you owe me, Brian C. said. What do we owe you for, Brian? James said social distancing is still 100% effective, not 10-cent veils, the cocktail, etc. Well, James, if you hear Dr. Tenpenny talked about last night, that even if you haven't gotten a badge yourself, that you've got to be careful around other people who have gotten the badge, because so far they are finding that it's you get some things from them by touch. So be careful what she's saying, what you touch, who you touch, especially, and where they have touched. So you've got to be careful now. The people that have gotten, who are wearing a badge, may be giving you things that you don't even know about. And it's right now, not by air, but by touch. Never ending circle of lies, Ruth said. She was quarantined from her job for 14 days. Wow, Robin. The other car, okay, too. Good, Diana. That's great. You know, Rue, actually, Dr. Tenpenny again says those people are not, it's not shedding that they're doing, they're transmitting. So shedders isn't the right terminology, because that's what you do when you have medicine. Like, for example, the flu shot. When somebody gets the flu shot, they can shed and give you perhaps the flu or something similar. But with this badge, since it's not medicine, it's more of a genetic something, an operating system, they are transmitting something to you. Brian C. said a lot of people owe Republican governors an apology when they said that if you end the lockdowns too soon, if you end the lockdowns too soon, people will get sick and die. Yeah, exactly, Brian. So glad everyone is okay, Diana, Sissy said. The virus numbers have been down for months. It's not almost non-existent, Brian, but what they're waiting for, and I'll tell you what they're waiting for. This is why the governors are not giving up their emergency powers. They're waiting for August, September to roll around when flu season starts back up. Then you're going to hear about that variant strain that they've been talking about nonstop, because then it's going to be, oh my goodness, we need more people to get the badge because look at this strain coming out. And because of this new, this is my opinion now, all of this is my opinion, the new strain coming out, we're probably going to have to give you a booster. So let's put more inside those people that already received the badge, and let's make sure that the remaining people get badged. Gives new meaning to contact tracing. Yeah, contact tracing. Yes, it does, Judy. Yes, it does. And they'll be more than happy to do that. It will be the flu, the normal flu, Robin said. Yeah. Diana said, thank you, everyone. Yes, it will be, but nobody will ever know. And I'm sure that you've probably heard this, but it is worth mentioning again that, whoops, hold on. It's loading. It's slowly loading, very slowly. Let me take it off until then. All right. Yeah, here we go. So this is already, we talked about the other day, but it's revealed that Google and this other organization funded Peter Daszak's virus experiments for over a decade. So all those people, and more is coming out about Peter and what he did, and people who are trying to pretend that they don't know what anybody's talking about on it, blah, blah, blah. So keep your eye on him. And keep your eye on Google and what they are doing. Now, this is Emerald Robinson. Again, I like her stuff. Sometimes she comes up with some really good things that she's watching. She said the oligarchs, let me bring this up, the oligarchs who are driving the Great Reset also own most of the magazines and newspapers and TV news that you watch. For example, here we go. Bloomberg is just the most brazen example. And they're saying America should become a nation of renters. The very features that made houses an affordable and stable investment are coming to an end. And as we've heard, there is a company that is, I want to say BlackRock, but I'm not sure it was them. But there is a company that's going around and buying up all of the property as quickly as they can. So if you have your house for sale, they're going up and buying it so that people will have only an opportunity, if you will, to become a renter. And I guess that is the objective. And as we're seeing also in regards to housing prices and sales, that time on the market for a typical U.S. home drops to just about 6 days. And I think that they said that now the median price of housing is about $350,000. And that's that's a lot of money. In California, we talked about the other day, LA, a house that did cost about $550,000 is now $880,000. But don't worry, the feds say, housing prices, they just kind of go, they're transitory. And that's going to go, I'm sure that'll go down soon. Probably going to go down soon because in 2022, they've already said that they are going to raise the interest rates. So when the interest rates go up, people can't afford to buy anything. So it's already a mess, and it's going to continue to even be more of a mess. All right. Now, who knew what kind of wisdom would come out of the mouths of beauty queens? Pearls of wisdom sometimes come out in the places that you least expect them to. And that's the case of a beauty queen. And I want to bring you some information on what she said and hear this short video of what she had to say. Whoops, let me get this started for you.
Hi, Justine.
Hello.
What is the most important issue your generation is facing today, and why?
Our generation is experiencing an epidemic of censorship and entitlement. And it's because our professors and our celebrities are teaching students to be narcissists, to believe that any view that differs from their own is an existential threat. And this is what I experienced on my own campus with censorship, to the point where people believe that speech is violence so that they can threaten other people with violence simply because they disagree with them.
Very good. And now your social impact pitch.
Free speech. It is listed first under the Bill of Rights for a reason. Without it, all other liberties crumble. But today, we're watching free speech get hammered to the ground by the very institutions that are supposed to promote diversity of thought. Let me ask you something. Are you a student? Are you a teacher? Are you a professor? The mere words, "I'm offended," are now being
Okay, so I don't know why that. Let me see if I can get it back up. It started to go bad right there. All right, it's going
hammered to the ground by the very institutions that are supposed to promote diversity of thought. Let me ask you something. Are you a student? Are you a teacher? Are you a professor? The mere words, "I'm offended," are now being used as an excuse to silence students, fire professors, and cancel people simply because they do not toe the popular line of thought. And that's what I experienced, an Orwellian phenomenon dominating my own campus to the point where it got borderline violent. But through the Miss America organization, I will promote Miss New Jersey as Miss New Jersey by empowering the voices of young women who are not afraid to stand up for what they believe in and become a voice to be reckoned with.
Oh, don't you just love her? I think that Turning Point USA should scoop her up quickly, give her a job, and let her go out and speak. I don't know how much of what she said is rehearsed. It seems like something that came from her and not some speech that she, because look, if you want to win a pageant, you don't go out there and talk like she just talked. I don't know that she won. I kind of doubt it. I didn't watch the pageant, but that's not typically the speech that wins for you. So I would just, I would scoop her up and put her on a speaking tour. Okay, now let's look a little bit about. Let's go with the contrast, right? Let's go from what she said is good and true, and now let's go to the crap, if you will, that Hollywood wants you to think is true. So let me roll tape on this. And this is Ben Shapiro said, "We found it's the worst trailer in the history of film." And I think it's just ridiculous. And it's trying to push hate. But that's what Hollywood likes to do. Okay, here we go.
I guess this is a long way from East Point.
Baby, you just gotta give it a chance. neighbors. They're black. Do you mind keeping it down? If you don't comply, I'll tell the manager.
Somebody's taking home security serious.
Hi, I am Karen Drexler. I'm your neighbor. You need to be taking your trash cans off the curb right when the trash is picked up.
Is she nice?
Yeah, she's nice.
Wait a minute. We have a white entitled neighbor named Karen.
Karen, hey, enjoy yourself.
There she is, slaving away in the kitchen. I've come across some very suspecting teenagers.
Suspecting?
Can you please hurry up? Please, they're very aggressive. Yep.
I left my wallet with my ID at home. Leave us alone. We didn't do anything.
How the heck did you end up moving to this neighborhood? Next thing you know, we have criminals. You take care of him, and I will take care of her.
Would you mind stepping out of the car?
My office has uncovered some disturbing information on her and her brother.
She doesn't like black people.
We have a search warrant.
Well, I'm black.
I know, she doesn't like you either.
I want to sell the house.
What I do? You can't tell me, huh?
We are living next door to a racist. You went in her house?
You wouldn't want your wife to know our little secret, right?
That was not standard police procedure back there.
What do we have here?
We got a hammer. Everything looks like nails.
You people are very angry.
Shut your mouth, boy.
Bad things happen to people that don't comply.
Oh my God. So more garbage coming out of Hollywood. In California. Okay. You're Evie. All right. Yes, we are at halftime. Please, everybody, if you will, share this and retweet this. So again, here's Hollywood coming out with a ridiculous movie to spread more hate. Robin said, oh gosh, this is horrible. We have Muslim, black, and white neighbors. We all get along and help each other. It obviously that wasn't in California. On my street alone, we have every person imaginable that you can think of. And not one Karen that I know of lives on this street. Nobody's seen one if there is. This is Hollywood trying to pick up with the critical race theory and everything else and get on board and further the hate. That's one movie I won't be watching. I don't, Sissy, I doubt there will be very many people at all watching that movie because it's just so stupid. Let's see. Melanie said, I'm having a difficult time can't find a contractor to fix my house. Called over 75 people. 80% of my belongings are in storage. House was sold and buyers backed out. It's a mess. I'm so discouraged. Wow. Wow. I don't know if a realtor can help you, Living Grace. Melanie, I don't know if there's somebody that can help you that, there are people that do flip houses. Typically when they flip houses, though, they don't pay you very much at all. Hollywood only survived due to huge cash infusions by China, Tim said. We have a multicultural neighborhood. We all get along fine. Yeah, it's kind of like Judy, you wave to each other, you say hello. If something happens down at a person's house, you're there to help them. They're there to help you. And it's funny, I haven't had one person yet on my street that I know of say, oh, I can't help you because you're black. I can't help you because you're Hispanic. I can't help you because you're Asian. That is just absolute. I don't even know. I can't even find a word how stupid it is that people pushing that narrative, they don't believe it. They just want to spew hate. Melanie said, prayers for my sister-in-law, she's very sick and no insurance. They are concerned because of their 8-month-old. Hope they didn't get a badge or anything. Realtor left behind dry. Bad realtor. Well, then you need to report that realtor, Melanie. Can't stand Hollywood, Robin said. Yeah, absolutely. I can't remember the last time I went to see a movie at the theater because I just think, I'm not going to give these people my money. And also, I haven't seen a preview of a good movie that I would spend time with. It just, I don't know. They stopped making good movies long time ago. All right. Son-in-law. Oh, okay. Son-in-law. All right. This is from the Faux administration. Says that next month's child tax credit payments are just the first step as he seeks to make the benefit permanent. Families will begin receiving part of the expanded child tax credit via advance payments starting July 15, while reiterating his intent to push for the benefit to become permanent, saying that they're just the first step. He touted the measure is a way to give our nation's hardworking families with children a little more breathing room when it comes to putting food on the table, paying the bills, and making ends meet. And what that is basically socialism and welfare. That's what they want to get you started on. So Robin said, we've seen one movie from someone who doesn't get involved in the Hollywood mess. Melanie said, I like pure flicks. Judy said, due to Minnesota winters, we've all grown up helping each other. Yeah. Wayne said, we got 3 new neighbors next door. Lexi barks at them. They are black. They're cows. Wow. Boy, you got to send Lexi to some programming to get rid of her hate. Next thing you know, she'll be like wanting hamburger or something. Every poor person will have more kids. Well, isn't that kind of the idea, is to teach people right now and forever, get them young, that you should have the government who is going to give you a handout. So you'll become more and more dependent. Someone recommended Luca from Disney yesterday. There may be hope yet. I don't know. I wouldn't trust Disney movies right now for anything, but who knows? Maybe that will be great. All right. So Emerald Robinson, also, we have something else that came out from the World Economic Forum. And anytime they have an interest in something, you should probably have an interest in what that is. Yes, he said cows, Bruce. The dog is barking at the black cows next door. Can you believe that? Robin said, we don't watch anything Disney. Yep. All right. So Emerald said to stay focused, watch and see what's going on with Cyber Polygon. And this is the World Economic Forum. They're going to be talking about it. So digitalization is accelerating everywhere. New digital ecosystems are forming all around us, creating unnoticed linkages across services and supply chains. And Cyber Polygon is a unique cybersecurity event that combines the world's largest technical training exercise for corporate teams and our online conference featuring senior officials. Now, every time we have a huge conference on something, like Event 201, I know this is just coincidence, but we had the virus breakout after that. And this is going to be a kind of a hands-on technical exercise. So you may want, let me just put this here. And again, it's from the World Economic Forum, who really want the Great Reset. So you might want to pay attention to what is happening with them and how that little conference goes. All right. Now, let me see what some of the comments here. It's been 4 years since I went to a movie. Sally, I can't remember the last time I did. I really cannot remember. When is Jesus coming? I want to go home. It's nuts down here. I know. I pray for that every single day, Melanie, every single day. It's getting to be more on an hourly basis. Okay. Here's some more information. Now, this is, we've kind of talked about this before, but you know how we talk about, oh my gosh, there's a huge drought in California. It's getting worse. What are we going to do? Blah, 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 blah. This is a report that was written by Katie Grimes. Katie is, I know Katie from having her on my show. She writes for a California Globe paper, website, whichever you want to call it. This is June 3rd. It's an article. California State Water Board is manufacturing a drought by draining reservoirs into the ocean. This is according to Katie Grimes that you see here by the California Globe. In the last 14 days, 90% of the Delta inflow went to the sea. It's equal to a year's supply of water for 1 million people. A California water expert and farmer has been warning steadily that water is unnecessarily being let out to sea as the state faces a normal dry year. Are we having a dry year? Yes. That is normal for us, which it is. Should we be having water shortages in the start of the second dry year? No. Our reservoirs reservoirs were designed to provide a steady 5-year supply for all users and were filled to the top in June 2019. And it shows here's proof of the on June 18, how everything was full. Look at what it looked like. This is that was the average mark here, and looks pretty full to me. Where did it go? Well, according to the California Legislative Analyst's Office, statewide water use averages 85 gallons per person per day, which I doubt that very seriously. But it's, whatever. Let's just say it's true. Where did it go? But it's always urban residential water users ordered to conserve water. And that's true. There's people in agriculture, which we do need. I saw a lot of waste going on, but something is happening. And they're saying they're letting water out. And you can go, if you like this, you can go and read it. I'll give you the link for that. But as I said yesterday, this is kind of normal. The heat's normal for us. The things are normal for us. Time for you to move to Florida. Yeah, well, if we could find a house in Florida, right? I mean, I'm not even sure you could do that now. They get rain every day. Yeah, they do. All right. Another thing, let me see where we are in time. All right. Something that no one is talking about because it doesn't fit the agenda, but we're going to talk about it here. Bring this up. Remember Jack Hibbs talking about a reprobate mind? Yes, absolutely. Over 40% increase in killed police officers so far in 2021. The number of police officers intentionally rammed by vehicles, killed by gunfire, or stabbed to death has increased over 40% throughout the first 6 months of 2021 compared to a year ago in major cities. Total 38 law enforcement personnel have been killed so far this year, equating to a 41% increase compared to data from 2020, tabulations made by the Officer Down Memorial page. So again, officers are being killed, but nobody's talking about that in mainstream media because it does not fit the narrative. All right. Now, according to what we're seeing, what's being brought up out there, and I think we talked about this just a moment ago, but I'll give you the source for that. And that is that, I think it did show you. Time on the market for typical U.S. homes drops to just 6 days. So apparently, if you really want to sell your house, you have the ability to do that, and very, very quickly. Typically, that used to happen only in places like California, where it was such a hot market, but now it's a hot market everywhere. So, man, a lot of things are happening, a lot of things for us to be focused on. Again, if you didn't see that last night on My Pillow, Mike, on his TV show with Dr. Tenpenny and Dr. Zelenko, you really should go and watch that. A lot of valuable information came out of that last night, and you don't want to miss something like that. You're not going to see that anywhere else because they don't want you to see it. Even also, I saw this a moment ago. Let me see if I can pull it up really quickly for you, or I can at least tell you, you can go back and look at it later. But Disclose TV, disclose.tv, which is on Twitter, it's also on Telegram. They're saying that their chat, in the comments in the chat, that's being monitored. And I went to look at it, and it's basically saying on what they have on their page is that, let me see if I can show the thread really quickly here. Bring this up for you. All right. So just in, they said the big tech oligarchs of Google and People have started to censor a moderated public chat group, not the channel, on Telegram. So everybody thought Telegram was safe, right? We're hearing other chat groups are affected as well. Looks like the techno-fascists uploaded a new blacklist to Skynet. And so if you go down here, all those who downloaded Telegram from the Google and People app stores cannot read the comments in our moderated public chat linked to your channel anymore. You see this? Message couldn't be displayed. So they're saying download it from someplace else. I don't know where I downloaded mine. I just don't remember. So, but anyway, I guess now that they have the ability to just go and monitor everything that you do, no matter where you're at, because Big Brother, is like that. They can see you when you don't think that they can, and they can watch and control just about everything that you're doing, kind of like an operating system. Gosh, imagine like if we implanted, an operating system in people, what would that be like? I don't know. Okay, so let's go ahead. We are in Genesis chapter 21. And the Lord visited Sarah as he had said, and the Lord did for Sarah as he had spoken. For Sarah conceived and bore Abraham a son in his old age, at the set time of which God had spoken to him. And Abraham called the name of his son who was born to him, whom Sarah bore to him, Isaac. Then Abraham circumcised his son Isaac when he was 8 days old, as God had commanded him. Now Abraham was 100 years old when his son Isaac was born to him. And Sarah said, God has made me laugh, and all who hear will laugh with me. She also said, who would have said to Abraham that Sarah would nurse children? For I have borne him a son in his old age. So the child grew and was weaned, and Abraham made a great feast on the same day that Isaac was weaned. And Sarah saw the son of Hagar the Egyptian, whom she had borne to Abraham, scoffing. Therefore she said to Abraham, cast out this bondwoman and her son, for the son of this bondwoman shall not be heir with my son, namely with Isaac. And the matter was very displeasing in Abraham's sight because of his son. But God said to Abraham, do not let it be displeasing your sight because of the lad or because of your bondwoman. Whatever Sarah has said to you, listen to her voice. For in Isaac your seed shall be called. Yet I will also make a nation of the son of the bondwoman, because he is your seed. So Abraham rose early in the morning and took bread and in a skin of water, and putting it on her shoulder, he gave it and the boy to Hagar, and sent her away. Then she departed and wandered in the wilderness to Beersheba. And the water in the skin was used up, and she placed the boy under one of the shrubs. Then she went and sat down across from him at a distance of about a bow shot, where she said to herself, let me not see the death of the boy. So she sat opposite him and lifted her voice and wept. And God heard the voice of the lad. Then the angel of God called to Hagar out of heaven and said to her, what ails you, Hagar? Fear not, for God has heard the voice of the lad where he is. Arise, lift up the lad, and hold him with your hand, for I will make him a great nation. Then God opened her eyes, and she saw a well of water. And she went and filled the skin with water and gave the lad a drink. So God was with the lad, and he grew and dwelt in the wilderness and became an archer. He dwelt in the wilderness of Paran, and his mother took a wife for him from the land of Egypt. And it came to pass the time that Abimelech and Kinchel, the commander of his army, spoke to Abraham, saying, God is with you in all that you do. Now therefore swear to me by God that you will not deal falsely with me, with my offspring, or with my posterity, but that according to the kindness that I have done to you, you will do to me and to the land in which you have dwelt. And Abraham said, I will swear. Then Abraham rebuked Abimelech because of a well of water which Abimelech's servants had seized. And Abimelech said, I do not know who has done this thing. You did not tell me, nor did I hear of it until today. So Abraham took sheep and oxen and gave them to Abimelech, and the two of them made a covenant. And Abraham set 7 ewe lambs of the flock by themselves. Then Abimelech asked Abraham, what is the meaning of these 7 ewe lambs which you have set by themselves? And he said, you will take these 7 ewe lambs from my hand, that they may be my witness that I have dug this well. Therefore he called that place Beersheba, because the two of them swore an oath there. Thus they made a covenant at Beersheba. So Abimelech rose with Kinchel, the commander of his army, and they returned to the land of the Philistines. Then Abraham planted a tamarisk tree in Beersheba, and there called on the name of the Lord, the everlasting God. And Abraham stayed in the land of the Philistines many days. Chapter 22. Now it came to pass after these things that God tested Abraham and said to him, Abraham, and he said, Here I am. Then he said, Take now your son, your only son Isaac, whom you love, and go to the land of Moriah and offer him there as a burnt offering on one of the mountains of which I shall tell you. So Abraham rose early in the morning and saddled his donkey and took 2 of his young men with him and Isaac his son, and he split the wood for the burnt offering and arose and went to the place of which God had told him. Then on the 3rd day, Abraham lifted his eyes and saw the place afar off. And Abraham said to his young men, Stay here with the donkey. The lad and I will go yonder and worship, and we will come back to you. So Abraham took the wood of the burnt offering and laid it on Isaac his son, and he took the fire in his hand and a knife, and the 2 of them went together. But Isaac spoke to Abraham his father and said, My father. And he said, Here I am, my son. Then he said, Look, the fire and the wood, but where is the lamb for a burnt offering? Abraham said, My son, God will provide for himself the lamb for a burnt offering. So the 2 of them went together. Then they came to the place of which God had told him, and Abraham built an altar there and placed the wood in order. And he bound Isaac his son and laid him on the altar upon the wood. And Abraham stretched out his hand and took the knife to slay his son. But the angel of the Lord called to him from heaven and said, Abraham, Abraham. So he said, Here I am. And he said, Do not lay your hand on the lad or do anything to him, for now I know that you fear God, since you have not withheld your son, your only son, for me. Then Abraham lifted his eyes and looked, and there behind was a ram caught in a thicket by its horns. So Abraham went and took the ram and offered it up for a burnt offering instead of his son. And Abraham called the name of the place, The Lord will provide, as it is said to this day, In the mount of the Lord it shall be provided. Then the angel of the Lord called to Abraham a second time out of heaven and said, By myself I have sworn, says the Lord, because you have done this thing and have not withheld your son, your only son. Blessing I will bless you, and multiplying I will multiply your descendants as the stars of the heaven, as the sand which is the seashore. And your descendants shall possess the gate of their enemies. In your seed all the nations of the earth shall be blessed, because you have obeyed my voice. So Abraham returned to his young men, and they arose and went together to Beersheba, and Abraham dwelt at Beersheba. Now it came to pass after these things that it was told Abraham, saying, Indeed, Milcah also has borne children to your brother Nahor. Huz, his firstborn, Buz, his brother, Kemuel, the father of Aram, Tashid, Hazo, Pildash, Gedlip, and Bethuel. And Bethuel begot Rebekah. These 8 Milcah bore to Nahor, Abraham's brother. His concubine, whose name was Rumah, also bore Teba, Gaham, Tihash, and Mashah. Can't they have simpler names? And now God lets the sun shine on all evil and just. Yep. Have a good time at the chiropractor, Sally. That's probably a great thing. Okay, chapter 23. Sarah lived 127 years. These were the years of the life of Sarah. So Sarah died in Kirjah Arba, that is Hebron, in the land of Canaan. And Abraham came to mourn for Sarah and to weep for her. Then Abraham stood up from before his dead and spoke to his son of Heth, saying, I am a foreigner and a visitor among you. Give me property for a burial place among you, that I may bury my dead out of my sight. And the sons of Heth answered Abraham, saying to him, Hear us, my lord, you are a mighty prince among us. Bury your dead in the choicest of our burial places. None of us will withhold from you his burial place, that you may bury your dead. Abraham stood up and bowed himself to the people of the land, the sons of Heth. And he spoke with them, saying, If it is your wish that I bury my dead out of my sight, hear me and meet with Ephron, the son of Zohar, for me, that he may give me the cave of Machpelah, which he has, which is at the end of his field. Let him give it to me at the full price as property for a burial place among you. Now Ephron dwelt among the sons of Heth, and Ephron the Hittite answered Abraham in the presence of the sons of Heth, all who entered at the gate of his city, saying, No, my lord, hear me. I give you the field and the cave that is in it. I give it to you in the presence of the sons of my people. I give it to you. Bury your dead. Then Abraham bowed himself down before the people of the land, and he spoke to Ephron in the hearing of the people of the land, saying, If you will give it, please hear me. I will give you money for the field. Take it from me, and I will bury my dead there. And Ephron answered Abraham, saying to him, My lord, listen to me. The land is worth 400 shekels of silver. What is that between you and me? So bury your dead. And Abraham listened to Ephron, and Abraham weighed out the silver for Ephron, which he had named in the hearing of the sons of Heth, 400 shekels of silver, currency of the merchants. So the field of Ephron, which was in Machpelah, which was before Mamre, the field and the cave which was in it, and all the trees that were in the field, which were within all the surrounding borders, were deeded to Abraham as a possession in the presence of the sons of Heth before all who went in at the gate of his city. And after this, Abraham buried Sarah, his wife, in the cave of the field of Machpelah before Mamre, that is Hebron, in the land of Canaan. So the field and the cave that is in it were deeded to Abraham by the sons of Heth as property for a burial place. All right, we will stop there. And I wanted to tell you guys, remember I told you the other day that I started taking the bromelain for the huge floater that was in my eye. And I've been taking, this is, and for some of you were saying, oh, it's better to do natural, just eat pineapple rather than doing, taking medication. Well, this is a supplement. It is non-GMO, non-gluten, nothing artificial in it. Okay. So it's about as good as you can get. I'm taking 850 milligrams 3 times a day. Now, supposedly you can't get enough of the pineapple enzyme in your body for it to hurt you in any way. So there's no, guidelines, or you must have only this and that's it. Anyway, as I told you in the very beginning, the thing in my eye, for those of you who have interest in this, was like a jellyfish. You know how jellyfishes move through the sea and they have this big cap to it and they have these tentacles coming out of them. And I had watched that thing form in my eye. It was the most, the weirdest thing that I ever saw. And I could see it in the light of the morning and the car lights and all that just forming in my eye. And it was huge. It took up most of my eye. I've been taking, I don't know when I told you about this, maybe it was 2 weeks ago, somewhere around in there. So I started taking that, the supplement, I've done it every day pretty religiously. I may have missed one time. Happy to report so far that the tentacles of the jellyfish are gone. No more tentacles. And what is left is this little round circle where the jellyfish head was, right? And it is a pretty thin line. And it is getting more and more invisible to see, although I can see it. Glory to God, Judy said, absolutely. Although I can see it and it's still there, it's not like it was. And so I am going to continue to take the bromelain. Now, I can't say that you would have the same results. I'm saying what happened to me and what is occurring with me. And in the meantime, I've also been praying, which I believe everything comes from God. So the supplement comes from God, how to make that supplement, the pineapple that it comes from, everything can be traced back to God. So I've been praying in the process of taking this to also pray to God to, continue the healing and ask God to make that disappear from my eye if that's his will. So I just wanted to give you that update. I'll keep you posted on what is happening with it, and we'll see where it goes. But I'm feeling pretty good about it, and I'm very thankful because it was too much. God answers prayers. Absolutely, he does, Melanie. All right. So God willing, we'll see you back here on Thursday. As you know, tomorrow is my day off. Prayers for you, Susan. Thank you, Debbie Treadway. I'm all for natural supplements. My bones are healthy again because of all natural calcium. And amen, Robin. Thank you for the update. You are welcome, Melanie. And so I'm going to give you guys a minute to talk to each other before you go. And God willing, we will be back here on Thursday. Or, be captured. That'd be great. Wanda said, hallelujah. Amen, amen. All right, everybody. Take care. God bless you. Please share this if you will.